This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
This is the news at 7. Good evening. I'm Rafael Sanchez. The Equifax data breach was among the biggest. And now we're learning that payouts may not turn out to be as big as first reported. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny is working for you tonight to help you file a claim and get your money.
If you were hoping to go to your mailbox and get a $125 check from the Equifax settlement, think again. The Federal Trade Commission says the response has been so overwhelming, you may only get a fraction of that. But fear not, there's other ways to get money. As Call 6 Investigates reported last week, consumers are eligible for free credit monitoring or up to $125 if you already have credit monitoring. However, the Federal Trade Commission now says the response has been so overwhelming, consumers may only get a sliver of that money. The settlement allocates a $31 million pot of money for that part of the settlement. The FTC is now encouraging consumers to get free credit monitoring instead of the cash.
The most important thing about the settlement is that it protects consumers from being victims of identity theft in the future. And the centerpiece of that is the free credit monitoring product that's provided in the settlement. So Equifax has to pay for a free credit monitoring product that monitors your credit at all 3 bureaus. But importantly, the product is not provided by Equifax. It's provided by somebody else so that you don't have to give your data to Equifax.
147 million people can get free credit monitoring, which monitors your credit report at all 3 nationwide credit reporting agencies. And it comes with up to $1 million in identity theft insurance. The FTC says you can also still recoup money if you spent time trying to recover from fraud caused by the data breach.
The settlement also provides for up to $20,000 in out-of-pocket losses for consumers. So, for example, if you froze your credit after the breach and you paid for that, you can get that money back. If you purchased credit monitoring, if you hired a lawyer, if you spent time, you can get money for all of that.
To file a claim, go to EquifaxBreachSettlement.com and click on File a Claim. Make sure you enter the website correctly because scammers are creating websites with similar names. Working for you, I'm Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny.
And we have more details. If you already submitted a claim for the credit monitoring related cash payment, look for an email from the settlement administrator asking you for the name of the credit monitoring service that you already have. If you change your mind about taking that money, you'll have a chance to switch to the free credit monitoring. New developments tonight. A suspect is in custody, accused of shooting a pregnant woman who is now on life support. Police had been looking for Skylar White since the shooting early this morning. They found him this afternoon and booked him into the Madison County Jail. He now faces an attempted murder charge. As for the victim, police have not released her name, and we don't know the condition of the unborn baby. We'll keep you posted on this developing story. Tonight, police are searching for a killer after someone shot a man on the city's northeast side. Metro Police say officers and medics, they rushed to the 4500 block of North Kitley Avenue just before noon. Investigators say they found a man who had been shot. Emergency crews took the victim to a local hospital where he later died. If you have any information about this case, call Crime Stoppers. That number, 317-262-TIPS. An animal shelter in Muncie is now under quarantine. The shelter had a huge adoption event planned for this weekend. RTV6's Stephanie Wade explains the concerns from Delaware County.
Well, if you read the sign behind me here, it says closed. They had to quarantine the shelter because they recently took in several animals from a neglect situation, and they were concerned about disease and illness. At the request of our veterinarians on our Animal Care and Commission Board, we have to close our kennels for 2 weeks. Muncie Animal Care tweeted out this morning. Several people showed up while we were there, hoping to check out animals to adopt, but were turned away when they saw this sign. A 24-hour no barking zone adoption event was planned for Saturday, but say they have a, quote, obligation and responsibility to any potential adopter to ensure our animals are healthy for adoption. The shelter director was unable to talk today. They'll open back up on Monday for cat adoptions only. The dog kennels will be closed until at least August 19th. As we learn more about where the animals came from and the condition they were in, we will bring you that here on RTV6. Working for you in Muncie, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
RTV6 is working to clear up the confusion about the timeline for this road construction project on the city's northeast side that's having a major impact on drivers. Lee Road is closed from Fall Creek to Trilobi Drive as Indianapolis DPW crews work to replace a culvert. Drivers tell us they're frustrated. They say they were told the project would last a few weeks when it began in July. But now they've learned the road won't reopen until at least the end of August.
Traffic is congested now that school started back up again. It's really crowded up on 63rd Street and over on Sunnyside.
Indy DPW says that project is on time. A spokeswoman says they called Lawrence today to update their information. Now to a traffic alert, this one you will like. I-70 westbound between the South Split and I-465 is open again more than 2 days ahead of schedule. Here's a live look from the INDOT camera. You can see the traffic is light because most people don't think it's open. It'll get better. Westbound paving and another repair work are now done. The eastbound lanes and entrance ramps in that same stretch are still closed as work continues. INDOT says work is on track to reopen by Monday, 5 a.m. deadline, if not sooner. All lanes closed a week ago today. Food, amusement, rides, and music. You know what time it is. It's time for the Indiana State Fair. And today, opening day, just happens to be RTV6 Day at the fair. This year's theme, Heroes in the Heartland, which recognizes teachers and farmers, police officers, firefighters, members of the military, and many others. And what makes this opening day even better, the fact that we literally have fair weather. Let's check in right now with Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts, who is on beat with all the music and the fun. That marching band, Kyle, was just for you to trumpet your forecast.
Yeah, and with weather like this, you need that fanfare, don't you? We have beautiful weather today. Our sun will be setting in a little under 2 hours and still a lot of sunshine out there. 83 degrees right now in downtown. You've dipped into the upper 70s at this point in Kokomo, 84 degrees in Bloomington, and that northeast breeze has been making the difference today out of the northeast around 10 miles per hour, keeping that humidity low and also keeping us dry. Some rain off to the west. It will stay there. As we go through the next few hours, those temperatures falling through the 70s under clear skies.
It's food for thought, the setting hoping to educate and savor some taste buds. We'll give you the scoop, as you can see, on what you can experience over the next 17 days. This is the news at 7 on RTV6.
Diabetes.org/Indiana Tour.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Now at 7, a consumer alert. A popular brand of soft-baked cookies are being recalled due to a choking hazard. Entenmann's Little Bites mini chocolate chip cookies may have visible blue pieces of plastic in the packaging. The plastic was not baked into the cookies but could still pose a choking risk. The products are being removed from the store shelves, but if you still have them, you should return them and get a full refund. Continuing our coverage of the RTV6 Day at the fair, you've heard that saying, there's more than corn in Indiana, right? Well, we have plenty of pork as well. RTV6's Cameron Riddle reports pork farming is a thriving industry, and at the fair, you can get a tasty reminder.
Well, good evening. It is finally here, the Indiana State Fair of 2019. And as you can see, people are already making their way in for what is especially a good day because it's RTV6 Day at the fair. We are inside of the Indiana Pork Barn tent, and this is so special to Indiana farmers because the proceeds of what's going to happen in here help support our Indiana farmers. Jeanette Merritt joins us this evening. You are on the pork board. This is a big deal for farmers.
This really is. We have 3,000 pig farmers in Indiana, and having the opportunity to educate people about pork production in the state and let them eat our great food is a lot of fun for us.
You guys have a couple of different locations throughout the fair. We are right across from the grandstand, and of course it is band day today, so you can go over there on your way in or out, stop here at the pork barn. And you guys have 2 other locations as well.
We do. We have one over by Pioneer Village and one in front of the cattle barn.
Okay, so no matter where you go, there's something that people really need to check out, and that's this new thing you guys have this year, the signature dish, the split. Tell me about it.
This barbecue split has macaroni and cheese, pulled pork, and coleslaw, served like a banana split, and is $9. It's a value and it's delicious.
All right, so it's apparently easy to eat. The guys are making them up right now, so you can come say, hey, I saw Cameron eating this split thing. I had to have one. Come down and get it. You guys are here all night. The fair is open till almost midnight tonight, and so how did this idea come up for the split?
Well, we're always looking for creative ideas on ways to feature pork, and our pulled pork is one of our most popular items here at the Indiana State Fair in our pork tents. So we wanted to do something fun and something that people can carry around the fair. They can sit and visit with us while they're here, or they can take this out on the road and enjoy the fair while they're eating it.
All right, Jeanette, I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. It looks pretty heavy. This seems like a full meal, so the split. Try the signature pulled pork. Let's see how it is.
Sorry, honey. Come here, sweetie.
And that's all right. That is really good. All right. Indiana pork. Support our Indiana farmers here outside of the grandstand and not too far down from the RTV6 tent as we get ready for a great Indiana State Fair 2019 on RTV6 Day. I'm Cameron Rhoda working for you, RTV6.
It was a warm one, not hot today. We had a high of 87, 83 for us right now. That northeast breeze between 10 and 15 miles per hour, but it's really that humidity at just 42%. Adds to some of that comfort in the air. 83 degrees for you right now in Muncie, Bloomington at 84, and around Indianapolis we find those temperatures in the lower 80s. Castleton at 83, same for you in Fishers, and New Pal coming in at 82. Quiet scan on Storm Team 6 radar, and really don't expect to need radar here throughout the weekend. And if you are going to be heading out to the Indiana State Fair this evening, there you've got some nice quiet weather, mostly clear skies right on through 11 o'clock. Still comfortable with those temperatures in the lower 70s. Now by tomorrow morning, a little cool for this time of year. Many spots are going to be dropping down into the 50s. 54 degrees in Lafayette. You'll find your number at 56 in Noblesville and 59 in Columbus. But we warm quickly. A lot of sunshine featured in our Saturday forecast here. That'll get us back into the upper 70s by 11 a.m. Still that northeast wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour, so the humidity stays pretty comfortable here as we make our way into the middle and upper 80s for that afternoon high. So really about where we should be, a couple degrees warmer than average for this time of year. 87 for you in Indy and a pair of 8s on the thermometer in Columbus. As we go into the second half of the weekend, not a whole lot is going to change here. We'll have a lot of sunshine, a few more clouds as we head through the afternoon, and a touch more humidity. So those temperatures making their way into the mid and upper 80s are going to feel a little closer to 90 degrees. But again, it's going to be a dry day for us. 7-day planning forecast as we put it all together here for you, and we'll keep the dry weather going into your Monday. That will come with a high temperature close to 90 degrees, but as we get into the second half of the forecast here, cools down just a little bit as we start to increase those rain chances Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but it's only about a 30% chance. We could use some rain because we actually have some abnormally dry conditions on that drought monitor that have developed just north of Indy.
And so we could use some of that rain next week, so that'll be a good thing. And, listen, Amanda Starantino, I just saw her walk by the studio, brought in some funnel cakes. So
some fair food.
While I go to the teas, do you mind going to the break room and just cut me a little bit?
Get us some. All right.
We'll talk, right?
Yeah, we'll get some treats.
Kyle, thank you so much. We've shown you in the past that it's never too early to jump into the workforce. Ahead in Hiring Hoosiers, you'll meet a group making work-based learning a reality right here on the news at 7.
Your replacement window hero.
TGIF, Hiring Hoosiers, RTV6's initiative connecting you to jobs, resources, educational opportunities, and anything else you may need to further your career. TeamWorks is a local non-for-profit making work-based learning a reality right here in Indianapolis. RTV6's Meredith Barrick learned more about how they help young people explore many careers.
Absolutely nothing. And now that I think about it, absolutely nothing. Just in my room, wishing that I had something to do like this.
16-year-old Lauren Adams says that's what her summer plans would have consisted of if it weren't for TeamWorks.
Where you learn new skills about life, college, and things that'll help you move on in the future.
Inside People for Urban Progress, young men and women are taking material from landfills and repurposing them to be made into tote bags, purses, wallets, and more. TeamWorks President and CEO Nicholas Duvall says their mission is to propel teens into college, career, and community success.
They can participate in a couple of different programs that we have, and what you see behind me is actually our 6-week summer job program, where we allow kids from the Indianapolis and Marion County area to come in and have a 6 weeks paid work experience with different nonprofits throughout the city.
It goes beyond just gaining experience.
You know, whether we're going to college, whether we're going into the workforce, into the military, the 6-week summer job program really teaches them how to show up on time, be good teammates, have some leadership, all those things that they can actually take into their next phase of their post-secondary careers or college and make them successful by showing up on time, being great team players, and really having some leadership skills that they've been taught here at TeenWorks.
Adams agrees.
For me, I thought this organization was important for me to get out there and show the world, show TeenWorks what I can actually do with myself and everything that I have to offer this summer.
That was Meredith Barrick reporting. TeenWorks offers a number of other programs beyond the 6-week summer jobs. You can find more details about that and so much more on our website, hiringhoosiers.com. We like our state fairs to be drama-free, but not necessarily llama-free. Still ahead, how you can get up close to the quirky animals and learn a few surprising things about them. Well, the news at 7 continues.
Tie my shoes.
Llamas are probably not that first animal you expect to see at the Indiana State Fair, but the 4-H market is expanding for these smart, curious, personable, and protective animals. RTV6's Todd Clausen traveled to Crawfordsville to meet 2 llama breeders featured at this year's fair.
I'm a lifelong farmer. Susan and I met 45 years ago, showing sheep at the Indiana State Fair.
That encounter years ago eventually led Mark and Susan Smith to their own farm where they grow corn, soybeans, hay, and raise llamas.
We are grain farmers by first, but we've always had livestock on our farm.
Some sheep still graze the farm, but their main business now is in showing, breeding, and selling llamas. And Mark, well, he has the knack of putting the right llamas together to produce award winners.
We've got probably more national champions than anybody else in the country right now.
So what makes a national champion llama? Mark knows well as he travels as a judge around the country.
As a judge, what I look for in a show ring is a lot of its feet and legs, is how they move and how they travel, straightness of top line, style, balance.
The Smiths still grow crops, but having livestock provides a backup to the crops in case the weather causes a bad yield. And speaking of weather, llamas actually prefer the winter months compared to the heat of Indiana's summers.
As long as you protect them, they all have shelter, they're all in the shade, they all have fans, plenty of water.
Another way to keep them cool and also make some money is to shear the llamas.
All of them have, at least the older ones, all have a barrel cut. We take that, that's where they need to really disperse their heat during the summertime. Some of them we have what we call, they're completely shorn, from ears to the toes, where about every second year we'll do what we call the nudie cut on them and get all that wool off of them just so they can tolerate our heat and humidity here in Indiana.
Not only are llamas used for their fleece or just for show, they're often used as protectors for other livestock such as sheep.
And that's kind of how we got into the llamas, that we needed something to protect the sheep.
While guard dogs are used as protectors, they often have a lifespan of only about 10 years. 2 of those years are used for training, whereas llamas can live for over 20 years and can be ready to protect at just a year old.
It's not uncommon to look out into our fields and see a coyote loping across and have 20 of our females lined up along the fence doing their alarm call, alerting the rest of the herd, hey, there's a predator close by. That coyote says, well, I think I'll go after a rabbit or a ground squirrel or a mouse or something like that instead of the sheep that they're protecting.
From the moment I stepped into the barn, it was easy to see why llama herds are growing so fast. They have great personalities, they're fairly easy to raise, and are useful in many ways.
When we got into this thing 25 years ago, if you'd have told me that we're doing this now and have probably one of the top herds in the country, I would have said you're crazy.
While this Hoosier love story started long before the llamas ever came to the farm, it's only fitting that 45 years later, the Smiths are back as featured farmers for this year's Indiana State Fair, showing both llamas and sheep.
But here we are, enjoying life, enjoying what we do together.
Working for you, Todd Clausen, RTV6.
I think Todd should bring those llamas to Good Morning Indiana within this next 16 days. We'll see what we can get done. Mark and Susan are showing llamas this weekend at the fair, and next weekend they'll be back with sheep. You can meet them Monday at 2:30 at the Glass Barn at the fairgrounds. NASA makes a huge discovery. A NASA satellite found an exoplanet that could potentially support life. Exoplanets are planets that orbit stars outside of our solar system. The satellite found several exoplanets orbiting a star only 31 light years away, which is pretty close in spatial terms in travel. One of those exoplanets orbits the star at a distance where the temperature might be right enough to support water and other forms of life. Always great discoveries, not only in space, but you'll find great discoveries at the Indiana State Fair, and the weather will be good.
Yeah, going to have a nice weekend for it. A lot of sunshine coming our way here, and both Saturday and Sunday, those temperatures mid to upper 80s. Feeling good, so get out there and get some good food. We got this to try out.
Look what's on the menu. All right, look at that. Some tenderloin, some lemon shake-up, a pork sandwich. I mean, thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll see you tonight at 11.